The following featured presentation is part of the Skywalking Network.
This is what you can look forward to on episode 466 of Skywalking Through Neverland.
So we had 3 Fets and the Sarlacc pit at the event. The whole thing was actually made with shrinky dink material.
Oh.
And that's how they shriveled the face.
This is serious work. We are breathing life into characters which would not otherwise exist.
And then he said some other things too, and I was like, yes. Ewan MacGregor playing Obi-Wan, standing over you saying, "Are you all right?" It was just really the best medicine.
What did you think when you saw this little baby Yoda?
Are you ready?
Off to Neverland!
Here we go!
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land.
When I first made Star Wars, everybody in Hollywood said, well, this is a movie Disney should have made.
You're more than just fans. You're family.
Best day ever!
Secrets loud.
It's about family, and that's what's so powerful about it.
Hey.
When you use a bird to write with, it's called tweeting.
When we visit the world of Disney, we never grow old. It's a Peter Pan, Never Land that keeps us young in heart.
This is Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you are skywalking through Neverland. I have a good feeling about this.
Hey, Skywalkers! Do you want droid tales? Well, this is the place where you're gonna find them. And do you want to know where you can meet all your favorite stars of Star Wars? Well, this is also the place to find up-to-date information. But first, we want to welcome you back to Skywalking Through Neverland. I am Richard Woloski, but now everyone please say hello to my sweetie wife, Sarah, who for the first time today is paying attention and not playing her office video games.
What? You're going to throw me under the bus?
I'm going to throw
like
you
that?
under the bus, yes.
Don't you throw me under the bus?
Yes, for the first time today, you're looking up from your office video games,
I was
as
doing
Hank Hill
lots
says.
of work. I was doing lots of work today. We're updating our media portfolio. Lots of things happening after Comic Palooza.
Well, you know what?
in
You
Houston.
throw me under the bus during our pre-show.
That's because
I don't even know what was
attention.
happening. Before I knew it, I was like stuck underneath bus wheels. Brum, 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 brum.
Well, as you may not have guessed, Skywalkers, you've reached your enthusiastic podcast destination for the many decades of your Star Wars, Disney, Marvel, and pop culture fandom, and maybe the occasional married spat.
As Spencer says, it says Greyhound on my forehead.
Wait, what?
From being thrown under the bus.
Okay.
It says Peter Pan over here and Greyhound right over there.
That took me a blonde minute to get. I'm sorry, Spencer.
Do they still have Peter Pan bus lines?
I don't know.
Yeah, that was a thing in the 80s.
Oh. All right.
Where were we?
We were giving everyone a big Wookiee hug. Your weekly Wookiee hug from us and a little sprinkling of pixie dust for our family of Skywalkers. See, we can have little spats, but then we can still share all of our pixie dust with you.
Yeah, I'm so sorry you to see this nastiness from us. When we get nasty, we get nasty.
That's right. All right, Skywalkers. Well, we are live, as you may have guessed, on the Skywalking Through Neverland YouTube channel right now and our Facebook page. And if you haven't already, please subscribe for notifications. Richard's trying to change up.
I'm trying to move around screens. That didn't work out.
It's not working. I'm trying to read, and he's got stuff in front of the script. Okay. All right. Wow.
Take 2.
All right. Hold on. So we are live on the Skywalking Through Neverland YouTube channel right now. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and then click the little bell for notifications, because sometimes we go live very suddenly. But we always have every week on Mondays, usually at 6 p.m. Pacific, is when we have our Things We Want to Share live stream, in which we share stuff that's happened to us, and you guys can come on and even share stuff that's happened to you. And it's really so much fun to just embrace our community this way and talk with you guys.
Yeah, we had a big show yesterday as we went over Houston Comic Palooza. So much to share. But if you go to our YouTube channel and look up things we want to share, you can watch that one. That was a really fun episode, like episode 15 for things we want to share. And we went over our whole experience. Wow, we had just got off the plane, from the plane to our friend's car.
To our studio.
To right here.
Yep.
Where we jumped in front of the camera and off we went.
Yes.
Never a downed moment. But now, speaking of YouTube,
yes,
we had a goal right before Comic Palooza to get to 8,900, was it?
Subscribers on YouTube?
Subscribers, yes. Well, we far exceeded that.
Yeah. What are we up to?
And now we're at 8918.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
89. Okay. And since you wrote the notes, we're up like 5. So yeah, 8918. Excellent. All right. So what's our goal? What's our next goal?
Our next goal is 10,000. Let's hit 10,000 by San Diego Comic-Con at the end of July.
Yay.
That's just 2 months away. Do you think we can do it?
I think so. Yes. Because in between, we've got a discussion at the Carolwood Barn.
For Bambi Moe. She was our guest on Skywalking Through Neverland a couple of weeks ago. And she wrote a book about all the people she's run into while working at Disney. And so she's going to be there with at a book signing. And we're going to host a little panel Q&A right before her book signing.
And what's really awesome about the Carolwood Barn in Griffith Park is that it was once owned by Walt Disney and has a bunch of, it's like a mini museum of Walt Disney's life and artifacts. And it's so cool. And then there's a train you can ride. So come on down. Have a great time. And that's going to be on Father's Day, June 16th.
Yeah, we got a lot of LA Skywalkers in the Sky Chat right now.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff Caffrey, you're there, okay?
That's right.
All
yeah,
right.
10K all day. Yes, Jeff. So come join us. Father's Day. Woohoo.
All right, June 16th.
Yes.
16th? 16th, yes.
Yeah. All right, so next week, let's get to 8,922. How about 8,925 subscribers?
I find that the 5 subscriber increments work the best.
Okay. All right.
Okay, well, 5 more, so if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you haven't, please tell a friend.
Yeah. And as Chris Mason says, click the bell. Click the little bell. Thank you, Chris. Yes.
All right, so we will report in next week where we will do our Acolyte episode where we're going to break down the first 2 episodes.
Yes, and they premiere on Disney Plus on June 4th, and that is when that episode will come out.
2.
We'll first start with like a spoiler-free review, but then go dive deep into those first 2 episodes.
So please come on back with a friend.
Yeah.
And come on back saying, I subscribed.
Love it. All right, well, in this episode coming up, we continue our discussion with actor Chris Bartlett. Last week, he told us so many stories when he played C-3PO, so many great behind-the-scenes fun facts. Well, this week, he is back to share behind-the-scenes stories of The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the Book of Boba Fett Disney Plus series on Disney Plus. And we are so excited.
Yeah. And Spencer Jowitz, our good friend Spencer Jowitz, is also back on the show to give up-to-the-minute details about this summer's virtual Cantina tour, where you can meet Chris and numerous Star Wars actors and crew. And he even gives us an exclusive guest announcement. Yes, there will be no resistance of the fun you'll have on this show.
What? Resistance? What?
I said there'll be no resistance of the fun you'll have on this show.
Ooh.
Was it a spoiler?
Exciting.
Maybe it wasn't.
Maybe it wasn't.
Maybe it was. Keep on listening.
All right.
Now, we are being sponsored by Small World Vacations, and they are a diamond-level Disney vacation planner travel agency that can help you book your trip to a Disney park around the world or even on a cruise. And best of all, this service is free of charge. So head over there to smallworldvacations.com for a no-obligation price quote and tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you.
Now, we are recording this episode from Long Beach, California on May 28th, 2024. So, Richard, you are the resident
Star Wars
expert,
historian.
Star Wars historian.
No, I want this title, Star Wars historian.
You are the resident Star Wars historian. So what happened today in Star Wars history?
On this date, May the 28th, 1950, that is 74 years ago, the world welcomed Danny Delk. A big, happy 74th birthday to Denny.
Excellent.
Now, Denny Delk, are you wondering, who is this?
I am.
He voiced the medical droid 21B in The Empire Strikes Back.
Sir, it will take quite a while to evacuate the T-47.
Well, forget the heavy equipment. There's plenty of time to get the smaller modules into the transports.
Take care, sir.
Thanks.
He also voiced Wicket W. Warwick in the second season of the Ewoks animated series.
Hey, aren't the four of us old enough to take care of ourselves? Besides, we're brave Ewoks, not a bunch of old scared gulags.
And he also worked on many Lucasfilm productions, such as More American Graffiti, Howard the Duck, and he also voiced Murray in the LucasArts video game Monkey Island,
which I know is well loved by those that played.
Yes.
Excellent.
Now I bring him up because this was one of the biggest reveals I came across while writing Today in Star Wars History. The voice of 21B is also the voice behind Got Milk.
Got Milk.
What?
Remember those commercials?
Yes.
The Got Milk of the
Absolutely.
late 80s, early 90s? Yeah, everyone remembers the Got Milk commercial. That voice is Denny Delk, the same Denny Delk who voiced 21B and Wicket W. Warwick. How did I never know that up until a few years ago?
That is amazing. We need to add this to like our trivia.
Oh, but I did. I did.
Okay.
So another reason why I'm bringing this up, because this is a question no one ever gets. This is a hidden nugget of information. And where can you find this? Well, you can find it in Today in Star Wars History. And to get your autographed copy, come down to the Virtual Cantina Tour, July 29th at Scum and Villainy, where our good friend Spencer, you can't say Spencer without saying our good friend.
Mm-hmm.
Our good friend Spencer has invited us to the show so we can share Today in Star Wars History.
That's right. All right, we got some great comments in the chat right now. So first of all, Kenny Crayley Jr. is weighing in. Hey, Skywalkers. And Leilani Shu is here with us.
Hey, Leilani.
Woohoo.
Just spent the weekend with Leilani at Houston Comic Palooza.
Mm-hmm.
Had a great time, and we'll be releasing a little fun interview we did with her at the Droid Builders in 501st booth.
And she's also saying, "Oh, Richard."
Yeah.
But I don't think she's saying it like Michelle from our Disney podcast friend.
We got a Disney podcast friend who would say,
"Oh, Richard." It was so funny. And then Jeff Caffrey loves Monkey Island. Awesome, Jeff. I've never played it, but I have some friends who really are into it. So very cool.
And Jeff also said, got blue milk. Oh, where is this commercial?
Okay, where's Danny Delk? Can we get him on the show and have him say that? Yeah. That would be amazing.
Oh, write this down. I gotta write this down. Danny.
Okay, don't take our idea, guys. Well, actually, it was Jeff who wrote
Jeff's
Blue
idea.
Milk. Yeah,
So
that's true.
Copyright it, Jeff Caffrey, 2024. You know what? While I was looking up Danny Delk, I've never seen him do anything having to do with blue milk. Okay, we'd cut this part from the show so no one steals Jeff's idea.
Okay. Also, Reynold Gobet, if you ever join us at some trivia live, his trivia factoids are now stored.
Mm-hmm.
Good
And
job.
You'll be the only one who ever gets that question about Danny Delk. And we can say, but Reynold, where did you find this bit of information? And he can say,
Today in Star Wars History.
Volume 1 and 2. All right, with that, now let's continue our discussion with Chris Bartlett as he tells us behind the scenes stories of the Filoni-verse.
Hey, this is actor Chris Bartlett and C-3PO Human Cyborg Relations, and I'm skywalking through Neverland, and just don't tell that other droid Q90, bounty hunter droid and hyperspace pilot.
Oh wow! All right, so we're ready for more behind the scenes fun stories. Whatever you got. Tell us about the Mandalorian when you were the RA7 bartender droid.
Yes, that was my first stunt because I do all my own stunts in the suits, and because it takes a lot to just to be in one of these suits. Not only you're doing the lines and the animation of a droid, but it's also physically demanding to be encased in all this. You're bolted together. You can't take it off yourself. You need to be able to endure the suit and also have great energy and give to the other actors in the scene and also do the stunts. So that is it's a lot of fun work. And I would say in that scene, I was in the scene with Carl Weathers, with Gina Carano, and Werner Herzog, who is the client. You know, one of my favorite moments on set, Mandalorian, was early days. None of this is aired, so nobody sees it. No one's seen any of it. I'm just still like bubbling with excitement and trying to keep it toned down because I'm a professional, right? And I was standing there up to my neck as the bartender RA7 droid. I'm standing there next to Werner Herzog, renowned actor, writer, director, venerated guy, and I'm standing next to him, and we're watching the turnaround of the shot, and he goes, and so he's standing there, and I'm just really trying to keep my cool, and I go really quiet. I was like, "Isn't this exciting?" And he goes,
"This is serious work. We are breathing life into characters which would not otherwise exist."
And then he said some other things too, and I was like, "Yes, that is exactly what I was about to say. I'm glad you said it, because I'm not a nerd. I'm not a fan here. I'm just here working." But anyway, it was really such a lesson in not only how special what we were doing was to ourselves, but to the production itself, not just to audiences either, but to the production, that what we're creating is something really special, and it all has to work together. And anyway, so he was really like, "All right, get that out of your system because we're making high quality stories and characters." And it was great. I loved it. I appreciated that. Yeah, but also there was in that scene there was an accident that happened that involved myself, and it was I got knocked. I bumped into I think I bumped into a stormtrooper, which was really the first time stormtrooper had hit anything, and so I got knocked down on the hard floor in fiberglass and hard fiberglass. And anyway, you can see it if you watch if you watch the scene, but also if you go to Disney Gallery and watch the making of Mandalorian season 1, you'll see a moment where I fall down, my legs go flying up, and I'm on the ground. Jon Favreau, I'm laying on the ground like this in pain, and they take the helmet off, and director Deborah Chow and Jon Favreau are standing over me, and they were like, "Chris, are you all right?" And I said, "Yeah, I just need to take just a 15-minute break, if I could just." But how did it look? Did it look cool? And they're like, "Oh, it looked fantastic, but you didn't fall on the pad where you're supposed to fall, right in front of the camera. You fell like over here." And I said, "Okay, well." And John goes, "It'll probably end up on the blooper reel." And sure enough, it did. But if you go back and watch that scene in the bar where it gets all shot up, because I think it's episode 7. Giancarlo is outside. Moff Gideon and his Death Troopers have just shot up the cantina. That's what's happening. But inside, if you watch that, they cut it together really fast, and you can see me fall like 3 times before I finally fall, and somehow magically but it's just like all this symphony of stuff happening and like, movement and stuff. So you'll see me fall down 2 or 3 times in that really quick cut. So you have to go back and look at that. But that was my first day with a stunt, and since then there have been several others more painful.
Let's see a whole bunch of photos of you over here. And this is all some of your characters. Can you tell us a story about Zero? Zero the mercenary.
Zero was my favorite character to play so far because he had such a cool attitude. He was the smartest one in the room. He got to fly Mando's ship, a prop scene that all the buttons worked, all the things lit up and everything. So when you go on in Smuggler's Run at Disney Galaxy's Edge, where you're pushing the buttons, they light up and they turn off and turn on and stuff like that. That the whole cockpit did that. So I was in heaven. And then I also got a cool shootout in the streets of Navarro in that costume in an earlier episode. So I was 8 years old again. And then I got a great death with Mando in that scene. So I got to do another stunt where I fell down, and with Pyro. And then I also got to work with Grogu for the first time, one of many times and many characters that I got to work with him. And it was just magical because he's the puppeteers are so talented. Legacy Effects is so talented in their construction of him that you don't realize it when he's just standing there. The puppeteers just waiting for their the scene to start, for them to yell action. They're sitting there waiting. But if you walk up to Grogu and you go, "Hey Grogu, can I get you a snack from Crafty?" He'll like look up at you like this, and his mouth opens and his ears go like this because they're just sitting there waiting. So someone's interacting. They want to see what he looks like, So they're playing and they want to play along. It's just the most incredible experience making these stories. So anyway, Zero's my favorite. Also, it was the first one where I got an action figure, which was icing on a 4-story cake. This one right here, this is one Jack from Obi-Wan Kenobi. I actually have the production head right here that was made for the show.
Wow.
One of the ones that I wore. And yeah, it's cool. It comes apart in the middle like this. See? And you can look inside there. It doesn't have the lights in it and stuff right now, but and then it goes together.
That's neat.
So
yeah, it's cool,
you're saying
right?
this is a prototype?
No, this is one of the production helmets that I wore for filming that. There were 2 of them made. So this is one of them. They were custom sculpted from scratch for this. And anyway, I loved playing one Jack because he was a killing machine. He was like a bug. I felt like he looked. I've always wanted to see Forlom in action. We have all the comic books where him and Zuckuss are in action. You can see them, like really doing their duty as bounty hunters. But in Empire, we just see him standing there. Actor Chris Parsons is playing him.
Everyone thought that was for LOM.
Yeah, I
thought.
thought.
Oh yeah, when we first saw it, it's like, oh no, they're bringing back these bounty hunters. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
So I thought so too, and they said, no, this is a new another LOM class droid, and so that's the thing with what we're making is there's a lot of stuff that feels really familiar, but these are new stories. And every once in a while, we'll pull a thread from an existing way back story. But these are all happening, 5 to 10 years after the events of the Empire being destroyed by Ewoks, and so these are a lot of times new characters. But anyway, so that's one Jack. That day, that was the toughest day filming when I get shot in the alley. It goes by quick because you just get shot and you fall down and then the scene goes on. But we shot that all morning with Kumail Nanjiani, with Ewan MacGregor. And the idea was I get shot in the back. Well, if I get shot in the back, where am I falling? But forward. And so I wanted I want this to be more interesting. So I I get shot like this and spin around into the wall and then slide down the wall and fall on the ground. That's just kind of, I just wanted it to be a little more dramatic. So we were just trying different things. But anyway, they said, we can't have you fall on a pad, Chris, because in the scene, the conversation continues. So we will see you get shot and then we'll pull back. And then they have Kumail and Ewan are having their discussion. And so I'm like, oh, okay, well, I hope I don't break everything. And so I fall, I'm hitting the ground or hitting the wall, fall on the ground, hitting the ground, fall on the ground all morning. And the first couple times, it's pretty violent because you don't just slide gently down the wall. You're like, and you fall like when you're ice skating and your feet go out from under you and you fall like this. That's how it was. And so I'm, crunched up against the wall with this head on, and they take it off, and Ewan MacGregor is standing over me, and he goes, Chris, are you all right? So I don't know if you have anything that has happened like this in your life where a person like Ewan MacGregor playing Obi-Wan standing over you saying, are you all right? It was just really the best medicine. So it was that was a lot of fun. And then we went on to do we filmed all that day, and then we went on to do a VW commercial for the promo for Kenobi, where I played C-3PO, and we met up there again, and it was just really so fun to see him again. And of course, you remember the work we did together.
You played 0 and 1 Jack, so I can tell you're falling to the dark side here. But we have some more characters right over here. How about this one in the upper right, Copper?
Yeah, I mean, good guy or bad guy, it's all according to who's charging me at night, right? I'm just doing the job, right? Someone plugs me in at night. I don't, they're a bad guy. I don't know. But anyway, okay, Copper was Grief Karga's right-hand droid. And I will tell you, this is one of the most special seasons for me because every day I worked with Carl Weathers, who sadly passed away. And he, I would arrive on set full in costume, just to kind of like create kind of a feeling that we were in Star Wars. And Carl would say, and also, while sometimes they dub over my voice, I'm on set prepared with all the material, and I come up with a voice. So they could use what I've done as a totally functional in the episode, so I'm fully prepared. I come and Carl said, Chris, let's do these scenes without the face on, because I want our characters to have an emotional connection to each other. Even if you're wearing a face, I want us to see each other's faces. I want us to look in each other's eyes, and I want this to feel, like there's a connection, not just a man talking to a toaster, basically, and so that was, I learned so much from that also. So we did that, and you'll see it. There's a scene when we're out on the balcony in Mandalorian season 3. I mean, you'll see it throughout the season, but there's one poignant moment where I walk in, and Copper is kind of, I treated him like a really a C-3PO with not enough programming. Like he doesn't have as much data to access that C-3PO has. He doesn't have as much experience. He's young and naive, kind of, is how I treated him. And so he comes in, and often he has information that Grief already has or already knows. Grief is already like a couple steps ahead. And so I'm running into the office, and I say, oh, there's an Imperial Star Destroyer overhead. And he says, and we're out on the balcony. And Grief turns to him, and he's looking at him, and he says, no, those are Mandalorian privateers. And when you watch him explaining this to really he's relating to him kind of like a mentor to a little protege, and I don't know, when I watch it, I really see the emotion that Carl and I were developing on purpose as characters in this season. So and just to work with him throughout all season, every day, was so special, because he was so generous, and so like he was as excited as we were. Now, we didn't have as much in common as say maybe Sylvester Stallone or even Brendan Wayne, who plays a lot of time as Mando. Um, you know, Carl wanted to talk about he was into fighting and sports, and I'm like none of those. so, um, but we really connected over the work and the characters and stuff. So that's how we became really close, and so that's why it was so such a shock to when production someone from the stunt team had let me know that he had passed away. Just because I feel like I had been given this incredible gift. Imagine at Christmas time, you have the one of the greatest gifts you could imagine is being able to work with somebody that you grew up with in your mind, on cinema, and then develop this really close relationship, not only professionally but also as friends and respect between each other, and then to have it like taken away, that was but also his poor family who we just lost such a kind, warm, talented uh, gentleman. So anyway, I miss him.
Yeah, and this was
Yeah.
one of those things that you never saw coming because he wasn't an old gentleman. He
No.
Yeah, what, in his 70s, I want to say, but not.
Yeah, but he really took care of himself. His energy was much younger than his age, and he worked out all the time, and he was very, watched what he ate and stuff. So, you know, you never know. You don't have a promise for tomorrow. So if you feel like you need to reach out to somebody, and don't say, I'll call him tomorrow. Just you're getting that kind of prompting for a reason. So just don't don't ignore those. So anyway, that was Copper. Another thing with Copper was if you look at the picture there, the eyes are covered. So C-3PO, at least there's little holes in the middle. The eyes are covered on Copper. So I have the tiniest vent in the middle that I can see through, but it's right here. So that's not really very effective for vision. So what I'd have to do is take the helmet off, memorize where I'm going, where I'm running to, running into the office, running out of the office, going up to the balcony, being chased by Carl as we go to the lava flats, and all of it was I was totally blind. So I would just practice it and do it a few times, and then we'd do it, and I'd just make sure and estimate where I needed to end up, and it worked out. But yeah, I couldn't see except for this tiny little hole, which was, I don't know, if you're wearing that and you have a hole right here, how it looks is this eye is looking through that hole, so the hole appears over here. And then this eye is looking through the
Oh,
hole, and the
wow.
hole appears over here. So you have these tiny windows which are opposite. It's very, very strange. But I kind of gotten used to living in a cage like that. It's fine. But anyway, so the
Another day at the office.
Garza's server is the same costume. Yeah, the teacher droid. So because I'm in each of them, I know how these have moved and how I make them move and what their attitude is. Zero is a cold killing machine. One Jack is a bug. And so RA7, those are like former Imperial droids. So those are like security cameras. They just move like this. A teacher droid
nice.
is in charge of children. So, and this is her job. So she's not out of her element. She's in her element, and so she's very calm. Her emotions are very. So if you go watch season 2, she gestures very gently, and then she calls on the children, or gently asks the kids to pay attention, and that kind of thing. So you'll see all those emotions are very calm. And what others? Yeah. So, and then the civil servant, which was in Mandalorian season 3, welcoming Mando back to Navarro, which has been made, restored to being a great city again. So that one was, she's in her element too. She's doing this is her job. C-3PO is always out of his element. he hates space travel. He only specializes in etiquette and protocol is my primary function. That is his job. He is never doing that except for in Obi-Wan Kenobi in that first episode. That's the first time we see him actually doing his, what he's programmed for. All the other times he's so frantic and like, this is not where I'm supposed to be kind of thing. So it's really fun to play, to know them all inside and out so that I can play them all with individual characters. Just really feel lucky to do that.
Nice.
Now, earlier you had said that you had worked with Grogu, and what actor doesn't want to work with Grogu?
Yeah.
Now, when you first saw Grogu, which was a long time before the fans saw him, as a fan, you knew Yoda as a very enigmatic character with not a lot of backstory to his culture. So, as a fan yourself, what did you think when you saw this little baby Yoda?
Well, the first time I met Grogu, he was just the little green guy at that point. When I first met him, I was going for my screen test for Zero, which was the very first character that I was tested for. And I'm in the, they suit me up from the waist up in Zero. So the waist down was CG. So I'm suited up and I'm walking through Legacy Effects by people's tables. And I'm just just like glaring at people, kind of like slowly turning, staring at them, like this. And then I come around the corner and I see this little green guy sitting on a table, and I'm like, oh my gosh, wait a second. It's like that's what everyone thought. Wait a second. What are we looking at here? And when I first met him, I knew that the show is called The Mandalorian, but it's really he's the star of the show. That is 100%. You knew that was what it was going to be, and so I was just so excited to be able to see him in person. And I didn't really until I played Zero in season 1, and that was just so. And then after that, I hunted him as Zero. I saved his life as Copper. I welcomed him to Navarro as the droid, the white droid. I taught his class as the teacher. So there's multiple times when I've worked with him as different characters. Can I just say something real quick about season 3? I love droids, Star Wars droids, right? I love. I build the suits that we use on the show, and so in season 3, I got to play the black RA7 with his little black astromech, who welcomes audiences to the first ever live action all droid planet. Now, this really probably only matters to me, but to me, that was so special because I play the droids on the shows. To be able to be the one who introduces Mando and audiences to this all droid planet was just so. I just felt so humbled to be able to do that, and it goes by quickly, but for me it just meant a lot. And then other times I get to call friends in when there's more than 2 droids in the scene, and I get to call my friends in and say, "You want to be in Star Wars today?" Because that's what we're doing, and so. That happens sometimes too.
So you have Filoni and Favreau on speed dial. Can you put us on speed dial as well when your phone charges back up?
Let me see my phone.
So if you ever need a droid,
broken.
Oh no!
Phone. Oh god!
Why does this always happen?
Happening?
It just charged.
No.
I don't know. We need to send over.
Sort it out. I'm so sorry.
We need to send over a 21B or an FX7 to look at your hands because that only happens when we ask something of you and then that's just weird.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like our midi-chlorians are just not connecting.
Not aligning there today.
I don't know. But now speeding ahead to July 29th, only in a couple of weeks now, a month, 2 months right now.
Couple months.
Yeah, you are going to be joining the Virtual Cantina Network tour, and you'll be signing autographs on July 29th at Scum and Villainy. Now, when you meet fans, when you meet fans, what are you most conscious of knowing that you were once a fan and meeting your idols?
I would say again, like, what would I want that experience to be when I was attending conventions or events where I'm meeting someone from a show? What would I want that experience to be like? I would love to have some kind of human connection with this person, even if it's for just a couple of minutes. Not just like a, there you go. Not that. Like, I want to hear your origin story. Like, I would ask you about, how did you come up with the idea to do this show? Or, I want to hear how you failed when you were trying to figure this out. Um, and just something about having a human connection with people is what we're what life's about. And so that's what a lot of times we talk about. Another thing I do is I like to what I call collect characters at conventions. And you'll see on my Instagram, I will find people in costumes, usually Star Wars costumes. And a lot of times you spend so much time building a costume. I don't know if you guys have costumes, but okay. So you spend all this time building the costume. Now you get to the convention. You finally get it on. Now you're hot and you had to walk a mile you had to stand in line for 2 hours or whatever. And now you're really like, oh gosh, I'm so tired. And then someone goes, oh, Sarah, or whatever your character is, you look awesome. Can I get a photo with you? And you're like, yes, okay. Okay, thanks. And then you move on. And so what I like to do is give a tiny bit of direction and go like, all right, I want to feel the energy of your character. What is your character? Is your character a stormtrooper? Is your character a stormtrooper? Would you be just standing like this, or would you be standing like this, or would you be standing like this? Like, I want to see the energy of your character, and I want to feel like I'm playing with a real live action figure. And so that's what I do. There you go. See? Oh, nice. It's a Kenner giant size. That's pretty cool. Right. So the energy of your character. I want to hear your voice. All right, we'll check it out. And so I say, okay, now I'm gonna film you as this energy you're feeling with this character, moving like the character would. Maybe you're a stormtrooper and you're scanning the area, and maybe you ask somebody for their identification or something like that, and then I film them. Maybe I'll do it from like a low angle as you walk by, or maybe I'll swing around you so you can see the kind of the reveal your face. And so then I put all those together in a reel, and then I put those up on my Instagram. Like I said, you're building a costume, but when you are inhabiting the costume, it's a character. So we really want to see your character.
Right.
We don't just want to see the costume. And that's what, like, people going to conventions, they want to see characters, like a real, like, walking through, like, and it's okay. Sometimes for some costumers, it's just enough to just be wearing the costume and they're having enough fun. That's fine. I'm just saying that what I like to do is I film them and then I show them what they look like when you can see the energy in of this character. When you're like, like, that feels very much more dramatic than just standing here, like, So that's what I do. So that's kind of what my experience is with. And plus, I love people coming in costume. I love to see all their craftsmanship and their attention to detail with the character, like doing the voice. I will tell you also, this one small last thing, is a lot of times we stress out about the intimate details of what the costume accuracy must be, and we stress so much about that, and then we feel bad, and we go out. We know that, oh, this shoulder bit of armor is not hanging on the Velcro right, and so it's gonna fall down or whatever, and everyone's gonna see, and then people are gonna be like, oh, look, he's a dork. So, and then, but when people see your whole character, nobody sees that, by the way. And if you are playing the character, it's even more so. Playing the character erases so many blemishes or missteps or broken whatevers. If you're playing the character, people are blind to those things because they're so taken in by, you're creating a little show for them right now as a performer. like they're seeing this like a little short, and you're just at a convention, and then they'll never forget that. And so anyway, I like to teach people a little bit of acting in that way, and then a little bit of filmmaking, and then I put them together and post them to my Instagram, just because I want them to know how much I appreciate them coming to a show in their character, bringing their characters, so that I could, enjoy it, and all these other people can enjoy it. So that's something I like to share with people at conventions.
It's funny when you said that. That just struck a great memory for me. When we were at Celebration Chicago 2019, I went dressed as Walrus Man, the Kenner action figure Walrus Man. And I love doing this because I've never seen a Walrus Man or any of the Kenner Cantina creatures. Some girl comes over to me and she's talking to me like she's talking to her toy. Just like you had said, people who are they pour emotions out and said, "You're my favorite toy while growing up. I used to play with you for like 5 minutes." I'm listening to her talk about how her favorite memories was playing with Walrus Man, and a tear coming out of my eye. And it was like one of the greatest memories from that convention.
And you know what? It means so much to her that you sat there and listened, because she gets to be seen, and she gets to express the things she always wanted to express, even though she didn't know it, to her toy. And so a lot of times people do come up and just tell me, "Oh, I loved this character. I loved, and then they tell me, or I drew this picture, or I made this costume, and they just want, and a lot of times I might just be sitting there listening, and sometimes that might be the only time that week that person has felt, connected with another human being. And so anyway, I just like, let's just all have fun, and if you want to tell me your story, I love to hear it. So stories are what make us, make our lives and our characters real.
Yeah. And you're right about creating a character. Like when I did my Jedi Tink costume, I like to do the mashups, because I would rather not obsess over, is my costume screen accurate? I'd rather create my own costume and my own character.
Cool.
And so when we did that, I was like in a line of Jedi going on stage for a costume contest, and I had practiced some lightsaber swirls, and I wasn't that great at it. So then this girl in front of me, she was like a screen accurate Obi-Wan. She had done like the beard even and stuff like that. She goes out on stage right before me, does all these crazy Jedi lightsaber moves. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to even try mine. So I leaned into the whole Tinkerbell aspect of my costume.
Oh, smart.
And just did like my little tink moves and my little like cutesy stances. And I won like my own most sparkly Jedi outfit.
I
love
love
I just
it.
leaned into it.
Yeah, I love it. See, you, Sarah, you weren't trying to do something that somebody else wanted. You were like, I'm gonna try and do my own thing. And that is what makes the best performance, is that you did something you wanted to do. So good for you.
Yeah, we can't wait to see you again at the Scum and Villainy on July 29th. It's, for me, sometimes it's more fun watching fans go up to the actors and just have those personal relationships, because when I met a lot of my heroes, once again, sometimes you shouldn't meet your heroes. You get the I don't know, I got it for a paycheck, and Phil Brown, who played Uncle Owen, I got him in trouble once when I saw him at a convention. I said, "Tell me some stories about playing Uncle Owen." He said, I don't know. And his wife went, "Boom! You tell him a story right now."
Wow.
She's yelling at him because they came here to see you. I want you to tell them stories. And he's like this little boy now. I worked with George Lucas and Mark Hamill, but so having gone through way too many of those kind of situations, it's so much fun to see fans talk to you and Misty Rosas and Warren Prue and other people like Ashley Eckstein and James Arnold Taylor, because there's just that connection now, and I love to see that.
And you guys who love Star Wars are working on Star Wars, and it's fabulous.
Oh, good. Well, I hope that you feel that in the work and in the stories, the love that we have for these characters in this galaxy. I feel, like I said, I feel so lucky, and I'm really looking forward to to going to Scum and Villainy. I've been there many times, and it's going to be really fun to meet people. It's the Monday after San Diego Comic-Con. So you just wrap up over at San Diego Comic-Con and come up to Hollywood, and we'll hang out in a cantina that looks like it's right out of Star Wars. All the booths and everything look just like it. The lighting is really cool, and they play music. They have hollow projected things on the walls and stuff. It's really a fun experience. So I hope that our audience will come out, because I'd love to meet them and hear their stories too.
Oh, they sure will. Spencer Jowitz has put together such a huge event, and all the power to him. This man never sleeps.
No,
and
no,
I just can't believe what he's putting together for the fans.
No, Spencer does a great job for the fans. Yeah,
absolutely. Now, Chris, can you remind us of your Instagram and anywhere else fans can follow you on the internet?
Yeah, my favorite place to connect with people is on Instagram. So I have. On Instagram at Chris F. Bartlett, and I have a couple of other accounts, but they're like I ride and restore old motorcycles and old cars. So there's a couple of others that are if you wrote me, I could tell you that's fine. But anyway, Star Wars fans, you'll find all the Star Wars stuff at Chris F. Bartlett. I'm on Twitter at Chris F. Bartlett too, but I don't post there that often. I'm too busy to do all the things, so I just picked one, and it's Instagram. And I've really met a lot of really lasting friendship, people there. So so come by, and there's lots of stuff. There's very minimal behind the scenes stuff, but occasionally there might be something that slips in there that you might enjoy. So yeah.
Nice.
Awesome. Now, if C-3PO were to wrap up this segment, what would he say?
Oh, my goodness, are we finished already? We need to. Oh, my goodness, we need to get to the spaceport. They'll melt us down, and we wouldn't want that. But it's been wonderful to see you, and may the Force be with you.
Oh, very nice.
There we go. Thank you so very much.
Yeah.
Well, we left so many questions on the table, but I'll have you on again sometime.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love to come back. I would love to come back. You guys put on such a great show, and you always have great questions. So please save those, and we'll get together and talk again. Okay?
Now, as we've said before, Chris is a beacon for fandom, and as you can tell, he loves to meet the fans. But where do you go to meet Chris Bartlett?
Well, no worries, because Spencer Jowitz is up next to give you all the details about the virtual Cantina tour this summer, and also reveal a surprise guest.
Don't be so resistant. Tell us who it is. Spencer Jowitz is back with us to give us updates and reveal some news about the upcoming Virtual Cantina Network tour coming up this summer.
If you're like us and can't go to Celebration Japan next year, then Spencer has you covered by bringing the stars of Star Wars to you.
Hey, Spencer!
Hey, Skywalkers. Great to be back. Thank you for having me on again.
Well, our podcast is your podcast.
It is great to have you back on. Yeah.
Yeah, and once again, I keep saying this to everyone, including you all the time. We are so impressed with the work that you're doing with this tour. This is a big venture. This is almost as big as Celebration. So thanks for bringing Celebration to those who can't go.
Yeah, well, when we were putting this together and we were just going to go, do Scum and Villainy and then Disney and then, go up to San Francisco, when they mentioned, Japan, a lot of our members were like, we're not going to go there. We wish we had something that had the Celebration crew together other than, going to a San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, Fan Expo Boston, whatever. So we're like, well, we have the opportunity to do a con-esque thing. It would be intriguing if we did 3 different versions with not 2 events were the same, which, next time I have these ideas, tell me not to do it. But it's been so much fun, and I can't believe we're just about 2 months away from it.
Well, my only hope is that you get to enjoy it.
Yeah, come on, you got to enjoy it.
I hope so. I mean, I've been telling people on the trip, I'm like, hey, when we go to Disney on Wednesday, that's my day off. So let me enjoy Disney.
Yeah, we got to find some way to get Spencer into like the back entrances to these rides because
I know.
You know what? You shouldn't have to wait in lines. You're no muggle.
Well, I appreciate that I'm not a normie, but I'll accept, Club 33 passes. I'm good with that. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
My recommendation is go to Olga's Cantina and skip Club 33. Yeah.
I'll probably end up doing that anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
See, look at this. We're granting his wishes.
Absolutely. All right. Well, as a refresher, can you give us some bullet points of the virtual Cantina network tour?
Sure. So we are going to be starting in Los Angeles on July the 29th, which is a Monday. And those who are on regular tour are going to start early that morning at the Museum of Motion Picture for a tour around the museum. And then later that evening is our Boonta Eve special edition Heroes of the Filoniverse taking place at Scum and Villainy in Hollywood, which is going to be absolutely insane. Over 20 guests announced with some surprises, and I'll announce a surprise a little bit later today. But karaoke also with some of the stars as well. The next night, we are back at Biggs in Fullerton, which Richard and I will go with a Sharpie and put an extra G back onto that sign for the night.
This time around, I'm going to write Dark Lighter under there, too.
Fantastic. Even better. Where we're doing an event called Boonta Eve Special Edition, The Galaxy's Most Wanted, where we're specializing in either bounty hunters or people who might have had a bounty on them at one time or another, which is going to be a lot of fun as well. Then Wednesday, we'll be at Disneyland, where we're going to be there all day, having our own events actually during the day. Some things to be announced coming up that we have some exciting about, but I'm very excited also that they're keeping the fireworks from Seasons of the Force going past the date. So we're going to be able to see that while we're there, which I'm very excited about. And then Thursday morning, we have a chartered bus taking us up to San Francisco. That night is Boonta Eve Special Edition Creators of the Star Wars Universe, which is all ILM and Skywalker sound-based behind-the-scenes people. Next day, we have a lecture in the morning outside the 3210 building with Hal Hickel, which will be talk about the history of 3210. Then we're heading over to the Presidio, to the Disney Family Museum, and ending with a family portrait at the Yoda Fountain.
Huh.
Wow.
Nice. And now, I lost track. Is that like 3 weeks right there?
I wish it was 3 weeks worth of stuff, but it's 5 days worth of stuff. I'm literally flying in the Saturday morning of San Diego Comic-Con, picking up the rental car, driving directly to con. Going to my first day ever at San Diego. I've never done the show before.
Wow.
Running our meetup at the Omni that night, and then Saturday morning driving down to Los Angeles, spending some time with my brother, and then literally like close to 60 of us are going to go see Deadpool Wolverine at the Chinese Theater. So is no rest for the weary. I'll sleep on the bus, All
right, now for those of us who like to make lists, go through each day and tell us who is going to be at certain dates. And before we go into that, really, how can people find out more information and get tickets?
Absolutely. So what's great about our events is that every one of our Boonta Eve special editions this trip is free to get in. So you show up. As long as we can get you in, we're going to get you in. The first night is at Scum and Villainy, and general doors open for the public, not for people who are not on the trip, at 5 o'clock p.m. So line up outside. We'll let you in at 5 o'clock. 3 hours worth of autograph signing and meet and greets. And then karaoke starts that night, which would be absolutely fantastic if you've ever been to one of our events before. It'll just be regular karaoke, no Alderaan Idol But a lot of our actors and actresses are big singers as well, so you never know who might get up on the stick and belt out a tune or two. But we're very excited about that. Incredible who's who list. As we mentioned, it's called Heroes of the Filoniverse, which is a love letter to Mr. Dave Filoni, who a lot of us think is also some of the savior of Star Wars, and some of the best work that has come out in the last, since the Disney branch has been Filoni based. So very excited about that. But I'm going to go through the list for you, and I'll also mention a couple of the characters they played in case you don't know who they are.
This is July 29th.
Correct. July 29th at Scum and Villainy for Heroes of the Filoniverse.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
we're starting off with Ariel Shu, who is a Jawa in Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Along with Ariel, we have Leilani Shu, her mother, who is not only a virtual Cantina Hall of Famer, but also portrayed Tika the Jawa in Obi-Wan Kenobi and a Jawa in The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett. Along with them, in a first ever Star Wars signing, we have Gerald Prescott, who you might know from season 1 of The Walking Dead, but she played Akrapa the Night Sister in Ahsoka. This is going to be absolutely awesome. Barry Lowen, who is a principal actor, who is one of the gentlemen who was actually inside the Din Djarin outfit for a number of the seasons as well. And also he was a principal actor in the Book of Boba Fett as well as Ahsoka. Our good friend Chris Bartlett, who is every droid known to man, and from what I've heard, had an incredible interview, which I can't wait, on the Skywalking Through Neverland show. So Chris is actually also a 2023 Virtual Cantina Hall of Fame member. We have Dawn Deininger, who basically is the resident Rhodian for the Filoniverse. Most of the time when you've seen a Rhodian, it's been Dawn. Dawn also works for Legacy Effects as well, so she's part of Team Grogu as far as building as well as puppeteering. Iyad Elbitar, who is Tamora Morris's stunt double for the Book of Boba Fett. Katie O'Brien.
I'm looking forward to talking to her.
Oh yeah, she's Comm Officer Elia Kane in Mandalorian. Obviously she's had some. She became suspect number 1 in season 3, but she's making a lot of waves. Not only just being in Ant-Man Quantumania, but she is getting a lot of buzz from Love Lies Bleeding, her newest movie that came out with Kristen Stewart. But yeah, she's about to blow up big time. I'm very excited for her. But I'm stoked that she's going to be there, and she's a huge karaoke head as well. So she's planning to sing with us from there.
Nice.
Galen Howard, who, if you remember from the Book of Boba Fett, was the snivelly, I wouldn't say maitre d' or front desk operator for the Major Domo that Fett had a lot of issues with. He's going to be there, which we're very excited about that. Lauren Mary Kim, who was the stunt mocap for Ahsoka in Clone Wars Season 7 in the battle with Maul. But also she's done stunts for the Armorer, Costco Reeves, and even Morgan Elsbeth in Chapter 13, The Jedi. Marty Matulis, who is Vane the Pirate in Season 3 of Mandalorian, and might show up in some shows coming up later this year. If you're in London, you saw the trailer. Michelle Lee, who was Rosario Dawson's stunt double for Ahsoka, who She also did stunts for Bo-Katan, the Armorer, a whole bunch of other stuff as well. She's fantastic. Our good friend Misty Rosas, who is Queel and the Frog Lady and the bartender at the Rebel base, and a whole bunch of other characters. She's going to be there, and she was a guest judge for Alderaan Idol 22 at Biggs. In his first U.S. signing, Nelson Lee, who is public enemy number 1 in Ahsoka, Chopper's best friend, Senator Ziono.
Oh boy. Okay. This guy, I got to talk to him too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be fantastic. I'm very excited to meet Nelson. Omid Abtahi, Dr. Pen Pershing himself. Hopefully he's okay from his frontal lobotomy that he had in season 3 of Mandalorian. I actually joked with Katie when I met her at Rhode Island Comic Con that she pulled a Spinal Tap and turned it to 11 and cooked him a little bit too much. And she actually wrote that on the autograph for me, which I thought was fantastic. But yes, I'm excited with Omid as well. And what's going to be interesting is that all of our actors there's going to be 2 at a table, and they're going to be themed tables. So Omid and Katie are going to be sitting together.
That's awesome.
Sure you don't want to separate them?
Yeah.
She did fry his brain.
Yeah. Pam Riddle, who is a character actress throughout the Mandoverse, she's the other Rhodian besides Dawn that you see everywhere. And she was also, if you remember, in Obi-Wan Kenobi, the bikinied Hasek, who was basically that wolf character that was in the Leia bikini, it was actually Ariel and Leilani walking around Tatooine. So we have 3 of them in that scene. And I know that Leilani has that picture on her table to get signed, because you can actually get the 3 of them to sign that one.
Yeah, and the Hasek, that's one of those original Ralph McQuarrie designs.
Yeah.
So there's some legacy in her character.
We have Tamara Carlson Woodson, who is Max Rebo in the Book of Boba Fett, also worked on Grogu, and was the puppeteer and the fabricator for Merle the Lothcat. So you can ask her if Merle was fed when Sabine left.
Yeah.
Got a lot of questions for her, too.
Yeah.
Warren Prue, who had a great interview with you guys. Second tier stunt double for Ewan MacGregor in Obi-Wan. Night Trooper, Stormtrooper, Trooper.
Yeah, pirates.
And then Tate Fletcher, Paz Vizsla, as well as Awful Trawler. What a great guy. I'm very excited about him being part of the event. So that's all the publicized names. But I am going to make an exclusive announcement right now of another name.
Oh, all right. I'll stand. All right.
All rise.
We're standing.
We have not brought in anybody from animation at all, except for, if you want to call Lauren, because she did the mocap, but a voice from animation. And we had an opportunity presented to us that it's a first time ever joining Nelson Lee, Senator Ziono, for the first time ever. We're going to have Kazuda Ziono, Christopher Sean joining us. So we're going to have Kaz and his father together for the first time at Boonta Eve in Hollywood.
Oh,
that is great.
He is such a nice guy.
He really is. I'm so excited about this because we got to meet him at some Star Wars Resistance press things, and he's just so fun.
Very excited about that. Chris will be sitting with his father at their table. So it'll be the first time for them to actually meet as well. And I know Chris is very much involved with the new Ultraman show that's coming out. So he'll be talking a lot about that. But we're going to have a couple more announcements. We have another guest that we're going to announce, but we're not going to announce this person until San Diego Comic-Con. So a couple of days before the event. But so right there alone, and obviously, our dear friends and family members, the Skywalkers, will be there as well with having their books for sale, and you'll pick one up because they're all absolutely fantastic. And you never go a day without knowing something that happened in the Star Wars universe, thanks to Richard and Sarah.
That's right. Yeah. In fact, this is the week for it.
What are you talking about right now? Oh, is that a little plug?
No
there?
shilling here. No bound to any sponsors.
I didn't hear you. I was going through my Today in Star Wars History copy.
Well, we are so excited about that. And then the next day, like you said, on July 30th, we're going to have the Biggs Cantina.
The Biggs Darklighter.
Biggs Bar and Grill. Who can we expect to find there signing?
So we have a great list over there. As we mentioned, it is first and foremost called The Galaxy's Most Wanted. So it's all people who have either been the hunties or the hunters in various capacities. Going first, in his first public signing, Aiden Barton, who was the baby Luke and Leia in Revenge of the Sith. So I'm very excited about that one.
How old would he be now?
He's in college. He's in his 20s.
Wow.
So he'd be 21 right now.
Okay.
They shot this in 2003, or it could have been 2004.
Yeah.
And his father was actually one of the editors on that movie too, from what I heard.
Oh, no kidding! No kidding! Well,
Which I'm very, very excited about that.
Wow.
We have Mr. Dickie Beer, who is a stunt Boba in Return of the Jedi. Dak himself, or Bespin Boba, John Morton.
Nice.
Our good friends Kevin and Tracy Thompson will be there.
Yay.
Always love them.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin is a 2023 Virtual Cantina Hall of Famer. Margot Apostolos will be there. So we have Tokat the Ewok as well. So we have another Ewok joining us.
She's the one we always see at Disneyland.
Disneyland, yes.
Margot.
Mark Anthony Austin, who was the Boba Fett in the special edition of A New Hope. So we have 3 Fetts right there. And we added something else. A gentleman by the name of Billy Bryan. And if you don't know Billy Bryan, he was the puppeteer and the fabricator for the belly of the Sarlacc pit in the Book of Boba Fett. So we had 3 Fetts and the Sarlacc pit at the event.
Put them at a round table.
Yeah.
That would be funny.
Here's what's even better about that. If you're a child of the 80s or child born of the 80s, I have to, give you your props. Billy was the gentleman who was in the suit for the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in Ghostbusters 84, and he's bringing the head with him for selfies.
Oh, get out.
Oh my goodness.
Get
that is so
out.
exciting.
we have Mr. Stay Puft going to be there.
I love that.
Oh, now who are you going to team him up with?
With the Fetts. Why not?
Yeah,
you have the Sarlacc pit, you have right there, and you have, even though he did not do the Sarlacc pit for the original Sarlacc pit in Jedi, but we still have a Sarlacc pit, which I'm very excited about. If you remember the scene with with the stormtroopers, being digested and completely grody scene. But yeah, that's our lineup there. You guys are going to be joining us there as well. And as well as our good friend Craig Miller is going to be joining us.
Oh, nice.
As well. We're very excited about that. And more karaoke, because every stop we have to do karaoke. That's kind of our thing. But yeah, that's the big show, which I'm very excited about that one.
Yeah, that's a good location too. It was very spacious, and everyone had enough room to move around and karaoke and to sell books, meet people, meet actors.
Should be real fun.
Yeah, and they have good food too.
Oh yeah, fantastic! I'm very, very excited about that. And then our final show in San Francisco, where we're going to do called Creators of the Star Wars Universe. We have first and foremost our good friend Hal Hickel, Academy Award winner for Dead Man's Chest and nominated for Rogue One. Been involved in since around the prequel time. He jumped in from there and has been involved in all the projects since then. Animation supervisor for most of the shows for the Filoniverse.
And looking at his resume, it says also appeared on Skywalking Through Neverland. Well, hey, that made his resume.
There you go.
Nice.
Well, it could be.
Yeah, and a friend of yours. That was our in when we met him in Hollywood at the Mandalorian screening. I said, hey, we know Spencer Jawitz. He's like, oh, come on over.
So thanks, Spencer.
Most of the times it will get you kicked out of places, so I'm glad it worked for you this time. So fantastic. John Goodson, who is a model maker, I would say legend from ILM. He did a lot of work on the prequels. Also worked on if you did the Mandalorian experience at Anaheim 22, John was the creator of the Razor Crest and Ahsoka's T6 shuttle, which you saw at Celebration. He's also very much prominently shown on the Light and Magic documentary on Disney Plus. He also worked on Gideon's Star Cruiser, his light cruiser, which was great, but he's done a lot of other stuff. He's done stuff for Back to the Future. He's done for Men in Black, Independence Day. Just an incredible model builder. Very excited about having him join us. Author and ILM person Bill Kimberlin, Bill has a book called Inside the Star Wars Empire. Bill actually worked on the final battle scene of the Death Star 2 in Return of the Jedi.
Wow.
So I'm excited about that. In her first public appearance, we have a lovely lady by the name of Lauren Volt. Now, Lauren was a makeup artist for Oren Frita as well as Alea Sakura in the prequels.
Wow.
She also, my favorite thing, was she was the fabricator and the puppeteer of the chest-bursting dancing alien from Spaceballs.
Oh my God. Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling.
I told her, you have to have that on your table. That photo op, that 8x10 needs to be on your table. And I promise you'll probably sell more of those than any of your Star Wars stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's gonna say spoiler on it because when Sarah saw Alien, she's like, "Oh, I know what's coming next."
We see John Hurt there. It's kind of like, but she also, from what I heard, did the decomposed version of Walter Donovan in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. So she worked on after he sipped from the Holy Grail and had the life sucked, she worked on that puppeteering for that.
Oh wow!
Goodness.
She actually told me the whole thing was actually made with shrinky dink material. And that's how they shriveled the face. I'm like, that's actually pretty cool. I like that. And for you kids who don't know what shrinky dinks are, go look it up. It's
Shame on you.
Yes.
I think I know what that is.
It's shrinking plastic.
Okay.
Yeah, shrinky dinks is what taught kids in the 70s and 80s how to operate an oven without your parents' consent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you know something? Ever since I saw the movie Time Bandits, I've been scared of those toaster ovens. Like I always would tell my parents, stay away from the toaster oven. I didn't want them to, explode. C. Andrew Nelson will be joining us, who worked as Vader for a lot of the publicity and the video games. Also, a lot of work within ILM and did work visual effects for Phantom Menace. And finally, in her first ever appearance, Kate Sabaker. Now, Kate worked with Phil Tippett and Tippett Studios on the holochess board for Solo and the Rise of Skywalker.
Nice.
As well as she's been on Adam Savage's Tested.com quite often as a correspondent, helped with when they did the work on the Blade Runner blimp on that episode. So we have about 6 people there. We have surprises throughout the entire trip at every event and even potentially some stuff at Disneyland when we're there. But that's pretty much the lineup that we have for this event. Over 30 people going to be at it.
Goodness
That
gracious.
is so exciting. Do you have any more tickets available for this? Or how do you recommend people who are just jumping in join?
So I would say just jumping in. If someone wanted to come in and say they can commit to everything, including San Francisco, I do have the availability to sell a couple of tickets and get them on the bus that goes to San Francisco. However, as of right now, we took off all the tickets around when Celebration tickets went on sale because we didn't want to be in competition. But we have the availability. If someone said to me that they wanted to do everything, that I could sell them a ticket if they want one. Events are free to come into. I know a lot of people who can't do San Francisco, so they'll come to all the SoCal events, or can only go to San Francisco, so it'll just be us there. So it's gonna be a lot of fun, and we got 2 buses, going up right now, which will be interesting. I plan to bring my despecialized version of the original trilogy with me, so we can watch, the Lopty Neck and also the Yub Nub song, which should never have been taken out. It's going to be so fun, and I can't believe we're just over 2 months away from this event, and everybody's been so kind with their times and doing videos and promotions. I know Chris is on your show, and Chris was very intricate into our planning for this. He was one of our first people we wanted to have on the event, and just excited. I'm excited for the fans. I'm excited for, you can get a full cast piece if you wanted to with Mandalorian. You can get a character piece done because technically we have 4 Fets if you include Eod, who's going to be at at Scum and Villainy. He is actually also the Fett that was in the Sarlacc pit for Billy Bryan's puppeteering. So if you got that picture of Fett in the Sarlacc pit, that was Eon. And you can get both him and Billy on that picture. So a lot of opportunities to get multiple, pieces signed. Get your figure signed, get your Funko Pop signed, get your picture signed. We'll have posters for each individual event if you just want to get, do a poster piece. It's going to be great. I'm so excited about this event. I'm exhausted already and I'm not even there yet, but it's going to be so much fun.
They're going to have stills there and things to sign, or do people need to bring their own stuff?
I mean, they'll have stuff there. I can't say to what they're going to have there. I'm always an advocate myself of bringing my own items, whether it be Funkos or 8x10 or my cast piece with me. But sometimes, I like to grab an 8x10 if I don't have anything on me that I can think about. I mean, I know, for example, when I was talking to Kate Savicker about her stuff, and I'm like, oh, I'm very interested in potentially getting a picture of the Hollow Chest set that you worked on. But then they just released at Galaxy's Edge a new version of the Dejarik set. So I'm like, ooh, that might be cool to get that signed. So I'm already thinking about other items that I could pick up along the way, or eBay some items. I know that John Goodson worked on Anakin's speeder in episode 2 when they're flying around Coruscant and he dives out there. He designed that model, and I was able to get one of the Power of the Force, cars, really, if you want to call it, for him to sign that. So, or if you want to drag your $500 HasLab Razor Crest to get signed by John as well, hey, go ahead. I asked him, I was like, how did you feel about the fact that you had such a great item like that and then they blew it up? He was like, yeah, I was not too happy.
No. And then just to clarify, each of these celebrities are setting their own prices for autograph signings?
Correct. So everybody will have a price. Now, what we're going to be doing is next month, mid-June, we're bringing back our show on the Virtual Cantina Network called Celebrating Autographs with Frank Rich. And Frank's going to be joined with our programming director, Mark Von Olin, to each of the shows. We're doing 3 shows, and they're going to specialize on one event each show. And they'll talk about the actors, have some pictures of the actors. We're going to announce the prices then. And what we're doing is we're going to only announce the combo prices, because we would love for you to be able to get a selfie while you're there at the event. It's going to be, whoa, and there goes my legs. Someone didn't like that comment. But if the actors want to, if someone comes up to them and says, hey, I want to do, just get 5 things signed, I don't need the selfie, then the actor will have the discretion to say, okay, well, this is the price for that. But we're only going to announce our combo prices so you can plan that you are actually going to go and get a 8x10 and a selfie while you're there.
All right, now this is a lot of information. Is there one place where someone can go to see the information or download the information?
Sure, yeah. So first and foremost, you can always go to our homepage, which is the Star Wars Celebration Japan 2025 fan page, which is the world's largest Star Wars Celebration fan page, with just shy of 68,000 members as of today.
And this is on Facebook.
On Facebook, correct. You can also look up Virtual Cantina Family Vacation 2, in the searches, or Bunta Eve. But going through to our page on Facebook, you're going to get all the information you need. I'm posting quite often about the events, mostly because I'm also right now concentrating on advertising to the locals who might come after work to get a couple of autographs and get some blue milk and hang out, sing a couple of songs. And whatnot. So very excited about this. I'm excited for the fandom. I'm excited for those who, are unable to go to Celebration to have their own sort of celebration this year.
Great. Well, Thank you so much for being that representative for fandom. They want to have a good time with fandom? You know what? You step up. You step up, Spencer, and we all appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And above all, we've done many events with you, and everyone in this group is as friendly as the next. No toxicity in the Virtual Cantina Network, and we gotta let everyone know that. You walk in there, and everyone just greets you with a big Wookiee hug. All right, Spencer, thank you so much for coming on and sharing that. Boy, I am so excited. I was excited before we started talking to you today, and now I'm even more excited than ever.
Absolutely.
I'm ecstatic. I can't believe it's coming up, and I'm so glad that, whatever we do, whether it's stuff in London or whatever happens with us in Japan, we always make sure that our first priority is to make sure that the Skywalkers are involved, even if they're not going to be there. So you guys are part of the family, and we make sure that you guys are fed as much information as you possibly can handle for that.
You do a great job.
Spencer, may the Force be with you.
And also with you.
Well, that wraps up episode 466 of
Skywalking Through Neverland.
We want to thank Chris Bartlett and Spencer Jowitz for coming on the show to tell us about the amazing tour coming up this summer. And we want to thank all of you Skywalkers who listen and tune in every week to our live streams. And also please subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the little bell for alerts so you know whenever we go live and you can converse with us.
All we need is 100 more. 1,100 and some change before San Diego Comic-Con in July.
That's right.
All right, now, do you want to support Skywalking Through Neverland other than subscribing to our YouTube? Well, consider supporting us through the Skywalking Force, which is our Patreon. The Skywalking Force has access to bonus content in the form of our Zoom discussions on the latest Disney Plus shows. And bonus content begins at only $5 a month. What? $5 a month? Yes, $5 a month. So head over there to skywalkingforce.com and have a look at all the options. And thank you to those who are already part of the Skywalking Force.
We would also like to thank our sponsor, Small World Vacations, for their support. Are you thinking of a trip to a Disney parks or a Disney cruise or perhaps Aulani, which is in Hawaii? Well, you can fill out a Get a Quote form at smallworldvacations.com today. Their vacation planning service is free of charge. So all you have to do is check it out and tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you.
Now, we are part of the Skywalking Network.
Skynet.
Where you can find other great shows like Talking Apes,
the Max Effects Podcast,
the Neverland Clubhouse,
Totally Tell Me Everything,
Star Warsologies,
and the YouTube shows Collectopolis and
Today in Star Wars History.
You can find us on social media, and I really recommend you check out our Instagram at Skywalking Pod. We shared a lot of reels from Comic Palooza in Houston this past weekend. Lots of fun things happened. And we even went to our first rave, so check it out. We also have our Facebook group, so search Facebook or YouTube for Skywalking Through Neverland. Like and subscribe and say hi. We love it when you guys interact with us.
Now, don't forget to stick around for bloopers and other fun bits that didn't make it into the show. And
always remember,
Neverland on Alderaan.
And Richard, I'm going to have you do your claps. I'm sorry, your greeny green clappy clap ones. We spend so much time with each other that we get so bored of each other that Richard's not even paying attention to me. He's just responding to his email and ignoring me.
All right, let's go live.
See, someone's paying attention to me.
I'm always paying attention to you. Because you said, see, someone's paying attention to me. See, I am paying attention to you. You know what? I was checking on something so we could record our Acolyte episode this week. So I wasn't like I was just playing my Office video games or listening to my Bridgertons.
Ugh, so much fun.
It's like I asked somebody the other day, hey, do you know what a freaky freezy is? They're like, what's that? I'm like, have you heard of Hypercolor? No. I'm like, now go away from me. Because that was all the cool stuff we had in the 80s.
Hey, look at those names to the left. They are part of the Skywalking Force, our Patreon.
Become a producer yourself and check out all the Disney Plus themed bonus content available depending on the level you subscribe.
Become a member of the elite Skywalking Force at skywalkingforce.com.